Hello there, my name is Evelyn, and today we will be talking about how I built my Evelyn. Alright, let's get right into this.
Asset confirmed. Preparing to move out.
So, she has 11,614 HP, 2,641 attack, 1,078 defense, 93 impact, 41.8 crit rate, 147.6 crit damage, a 92 anomaly mastery, 108 anomaly proficiency, 0% 10 ratio, and 1.2 energy regen. Now, for her equipment, I have her on the Brimstone, which is Soldier 11's signature. It gives attack percent upon hitting an enemy with a basic dash attack or dodge counter. The equipment's attack is increased, and this can stack up to 8 times, which I find really nice. Other weapons I would put her on would be the Marikaito's Desire, which is the crit rate buff, and I believe I have it refined all the way. This, if I recall correctly, this was an event weapon that we got back in Cheesetopia, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's right. Another one I could put on her is Street Superstar. Which one is that one? Watch me not be able to find it. Here we go. Street Superstar. It gives attack percent, and when a squad member launches a chain attack, the equiper gains 1 charge stack. Plus stacking up to 3 times. When activating the ultimate, the equiper consumes them, and this skill's damage gets increased by 15% at refinement level 1. This is pretty good for Evelyn. Evelyn uses her ult, and her ult does a lot of damage, so I find this is good for her. Now, there's also the Starlight Engine. Is it the replica one? No, it's the Starlight Engine, which, launching a dodge counter, quick assist, increases the equiper's attack by 12%, which I find is good, and it gives her more attack. Now, you could also put her on Gilded Blossom, which gives attack percent and increases attack percent and damage up by EX. Special attack is increased by 24%, which I find is really nice. You could also put her, this is one, the Lunar Plenum, which gives attack percent, basic dash and dodge counters damage are increased by 12%, or the Lunar Desecrant, which also gives attack percent, and launching chain or ultimate increases the equiper's damage by 15%. I find Evelyn does damage of all of them at some point in time, so I find both of these are good because you'll be getting increased damage one way or the other. Now, drive disc-wise, I personally have her on a 4-piece Woodpecker's Electro and a 2-piece Branch and Blade Song. Now, I may eventually put her on a 4-piece Dawn Bloom, which increases basic attack damage by 15%, increases basic damage by 20% for the 4-piece. When equiper is attacked using an EX special attack or ultimate, will further increase basic damage by 20%. I find her base does some damage. Now, I may not change her because her base isn't her big damage. It's more on her ultimate and her E. Now, I do put my Billy on this because I think this is really good for her. But you could put her on a 4-piece of this, especially if you plan on using her base a lot. I find it could be good, but definitely not her optimal. I have her on a 4-piece Woodpecker's Electro, which gives her crit and landing critical hit on enemy with base, dodge, counter, EX. Special attack increases equiper attack by 9% for 9 seconds. The buff duration for different skills are calculated separately. So I find that's really nice, and then the 2-piece of Branch and Blade Song just gives her additional crit damage. You could also put her on a 2-piece of Woodpecker's Electro if you want her on a 4-piece of something else. I'll just say 4-piece, let me see if I can find it. What I have written is 4-piece Puffer Electro. And I'm gonna have to find, is it the fire set? Here, let me look to see if it's in the recommended. No, that's Inferno Metal, which you can put on her. 5 damage plus 10% upon hitting a burning enemy. The equiper's crit rate is increased by 28. I personally don't think I'm gonna put it on her. Here we go. You can put her on 4-piece Puffer Electro, which is a 10 ratio. And then ultimate damage increased by 20%. Launching an ultimate increases the cover's attack by 15 for 12 seconds. I may end up putting her on this one sometime, a 4-piece of this and probably 2-piece Bright and Blind Song. For now, I'm happy with her 4-piece Electro, Woodpepper, Pecker, and 2-piece Branch and Blade Song. But I may end up with a 4-piece Puffer Electro and 2-piece Branch and Blade Song at some time. But I'm happy with her artifacts right now, and I don't think I have enough of Puffer Electro. So, anyway, for your Drive Disc 6, she's going to want attack percent. For your Drive Disc 5, she's going to want fire damage bonus. And for our Drive Disc 4, you're going to want to put her on crit rate or crit damage. And then substat-wise, I'd say primarily look attack, crit, your attacks and your crits. The last substat, maybe give her some pen ratio, and that's about it. I'd say focus on your attack, focus on your crit, and then like pen or HP or defense for the last, depending on what you want. Now, you're probably not going to
Asset confirmed. Preparing to move out.
Now, team-wise, we are once again going to be fighting the new guy, because I'm still building Moncho. Team-wise, I run her with Magnus and Astra. I used to run her, who was here before, Lighter. And honestly, I might put Jufufu in the team, because I kind of liked her with the Stunner. But it might just be because I need to build my Magnus better, because I'm still working on her build. But right now I have her run with this, Magnus being a sub-DPS, Evelyn being the DPS, and Astra being the support. I like having Snap here with his 2 girls. I could also give her the Fire Bangu if I really want, because I've always been running her with a second fire character. Now, for Evelyn, I don't find there's any particular characters I really care to run with her. I say just make sure you run her with a good support. Astra is a really good support for her. Astra's a good support for most people. So that's good to run with her. I typically like running her with a second fire character.
At your command.
I've also run her with Bernice. Where's Bernie? I've also run her with Bernice. You could run her with Caesar if you want additional defenses in there.
You know, I really like your
Seed-wise, oh gosh, I need to rethink about how Seed supports. But her recall has to do with using the AX special attack, and she does something with that, which could work pretty well given the fact that, and she wants to go with attack character. So you could probably run Seed with her as well. And like I said, I'm on debate on whether or not I want Magnus or Jufufu in here. I'm gonna run her with Magnus for the showcase. Sometimes I do run her with Jufufu, especially if I want a stunner. Well, Jufufu or Lighter. Where's Lighter?
I'm here.
Lighter.
So good.
But I've been trying to kick Lighter out of her team because he's in my Hugo's team. So there tends to be a conflict of interest when I try to run them at the same time. So I've been trying to get Lighter out of her team. So I'm gonna either have Jufufu replace him, or I'm gonna have Magnus do it. And right now I'm having I'm pretty happy with that. But honestly, to play Evelyn, you just have her on field, you use her base attack, you swap them out when you're not buff, and then use it when you can. At least that's how I play her. I don't know if I technically get best way. I've never looked at best way. Oh, I forgot to go over her con. We will go back to those after the showcase. I knew I was skipping that one. So her thing's actually pretty interesting, and we have to go over but I can start going over what those things are right now to see what it is.
Nothing slips through my
fingers. You know what they're called. I think Burning Embers, which should be larger bar, which then turns into Burning Path, which is the arrow type things. Where's it? Let me find it. Which should turn into the arrow type things you see. And so once you get to the complete of that, and then there's some stuff you can trigger with our basic Burning Embers, which one of her cons actually doesn't have it so they're restored after using the specific There's the whole thing. I will be going over the column soon enough. I just realized I forgot to go over them. I thought I was forgetting something. It did sound like I
Don't
had something. Now I remember what, so I will be going over those once.
No one can attack me.
Okay.
I knew it would be
interesting, and I hope I can explain them adequately. Of course, 3 and 5 are really easy to just hit. Boost her talent,
no one can attack me.
all of her skills just get lost. It's really nice.
Your journey ends with me.
And I've been calling that their ultimate. Technically, their chain attack. I mean, it's the chain attack slash ultimate. They're both in the same area. I was always so confused. But the actual technical name is chain attack. I was the level person. I forgot so much. Man, I was really zoned out, I guess. They basically went over her stuff and I completely missed his power. Dang. Well, oh well. We'll get to them right after this. Oh, I forgot to go over so much. You get to go over that beforehand too. Oh wow. We are almost done here, guys. So, we'll be getting to those in just
All exits are now free.
I didn't but oh well. And on Magnus.
The best defense is a strong offense.
The advantage. And that's it. Done. Alright. So, skill-wise, I would say you should level her ultimate first. Or, well, technically it would be chain attack. I would do chain attack, EX special attack, her base, well, the alphabet first, chain, special, base, I think, dodge, and then assist.
Please, forgive me.
I think that's what I would do. What do I have leveled? I think I would do, like I said, see it's chain, and then the ultimate's within it. I never realized that before. Anyway, so I think I would do chain, special attack, base attack, her dodge, and then her assist. Their suggestions is, you know, the alphabet, alt, base, then E. Assist and dodge is the lowest. Do it as you see fit. That's probably how I would do it. That's how I have it done. These 3 are level, dodge is 1 above your assist. Anyway, so that's how I would do this for clears to get this alphabet. What's it called? Core skills. I'll start calling them that. I really should have looked at that a while ago. Her core skills leveled first. Anyway, her C1, she gained 1,500 decibels, which, if I recall correctly, is half of your regular decibel charge. So you typically get your ultimate with 3,000 decibels, if I'm recalling correctly. And then you can actually have it reduced to 2,000 with some things in, like, Hollow Zero and stuff. But, like, typically, you're looking at 3,000 decibels per ultimate, so she basically gets a half charge. She will, when enemies are affected by Binding Seal, which is a state, she enters a state, and then she can apply Binding Seal to them. If I recall, that is her alphabet thing upon entering Binding Seal. Binding Seal is the state. She can enter it very many ways. Basically, every single one of her things can give her a way to enter Binding Seal, so you will be in it. After leaving Binding Seal, she's buffed. If Evelyn switches to another character while Binding Seal, she will automatically follow up special attack, Binding, surrender, first form. Anyway, enemies affected by Binding Seal. So I think that's if she hits them with an attack. I'm not actually sure what affected by Binding Seal is, but they will be affected by an effect called Bound, which will allow Evelyn to ignore 12% of their defense. And then when they get hit by her E, as long as, if it's that twirl type of E, when you, like, press or hold it to get the, or she does the twirl thing. There's one form of the E that doesn't do it, but I don't think I activate that all that much, so I don't think about it much. But it'd be Binding Surrender, which I think where she does the twirl around the enemy and stuff. Anyway, so anybody who gets hit by that will also be affected by the bound effect. The bound effect will last for 10 seconds. And, you know, she ignores 12% of their defense, which is really nice when they're affected by that. Anyway, her C2 increases her attack by 15%. Now, when using two forms of her base attack, the base, I think those are your two standard forms. This is when she would use the Burning Embers, and then the Burning Embers consumed will be returned, so she'll have more of those. Anyway, the effect can be triggered every 25 seconds, and then so when she consumes Burning Tether Points, which should be the arrow things, if I'm recalling correctly, and triggering the chain attack, Lunat's Snare, the skill's interruption level increases, so it will be harder to interrupt. That's if I understand everything correctly. Now her 3 increases all of her skills levels by 2. Her C4, upon activating a chain attack or the ultimate, Evelyn gains a shield that is 10% of her max HP. When she has this shield, she gains a 40% crit damage increase, which is really nice. Plus, she gets shielded. Her C5 just increases the level of everything by 2 again, and that's the C1, not the C6. And her C6, upon launching chain or ultimate, Evelyn enters a state called Shadow String Edge for 20 seconds. During this, when Evelyn hits her primary target with her base dash special or EX special attack, she will execute a follow-up attack called Lunat's Garret, dealing fire damage equal to 375% per attack to enemies within the AoE. The damage is considered chain attack damage. She will up the damage by leveling up her chain attack, which is what I normally would call her ultimate. And this can be triggered up to 16 times. Now, the Shadow String's Edge cooldown can be reset upon triggering it again. Oh, sorry. Gaining another Shadow String's Edge, so upon redoing it, the count, can be triggered up to 16 times. That count will be reset. Anyway, that is all for Evelyn. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Sorry about the little mix-up to where I have some before and some after the showcase. That was my bad. But thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want to see more how I build things, or I'm going to start doing playthrough stuff. I don't think I'm going to be doing Genshin, ZZZ, or Star Rail, but I'm going to honestly, I might start with like Harvest Moon or something. I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to do, but I'm going to start branching out what I'm doing, not just how I build. Hey, maybe I'll show off my worlds, because I got some good pulls in some of these games. Anyway, once again, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more of me, please subscribe. And may you have a blessed rest of your day.